All right, everyone. Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche StatCast. I'm going to look into the numbers between the Colorado Avalanche loss to the St. Louis Blues 5-4. Let's get to it.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast StatCast. Thank you for tuning into this. This is something that I do when I get the time and look into the most recent games stats, kind of look into the deeper analytics and kind of just take them for what they are. If you want to get this video before it goes live, you can join our subtext. Subtext members get this a couple hours before it actually goes live. So sign up for that. Link is in the show notes below. And then you also, if you listen to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, we do a lot with our subtext people. We get your opinions and everything and share it on the episode. And you get this in advance as well. So Kyle and I will have our regular Locked On Avalanche podcast tomorrow, where we'll break down the entirety of this game. But what we do for this is go through a few analytics stat websites and kind of just look at the numbers and do things benefit the Avs? Do things not benefit the Avs? Does the final outcome, is it representative of what the numbers say? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think there's some very interesting ones for these stats here. So why don't we jump into things? And what we have been doing recently is looking at the NHL.com website, where they have, I can move myself down here, the what do they call it? The goal visualizers. We won't go through the Blues ones because we're not a Blues podcast, but we'll look at the Avs ones. And is there anything there for these particular goals? There's some nice plays. So let's just start with the first one, and that is the Ross Colton one. And if you haven't seen these before, you can see Ross Colton right there. He's got the double circles around him, so you know that he's the one that scores the goal if you want to keep your eyes on him. This one, gets out of the zone. Good fight here by Logan O'Connor, and you can see Colton's just sticking with the play. There's nobody in front of him, so he just sticks with Colton on the other end of the ice, obviously. But this is all Logan O'Connor, and you're going to hear about a lot from Logan O'Connor in this StatCast because he had a fantastic game. So that was what got the Avs on the board, down 4-0. You needed something, and this is the one that it was, and it's a nice play by Logan O'Connor too, because you saw Ross Colton just streaking and no one around him, and I was telling myself if Ross Colton if Logan O'Connor can get this puck, he's got Ross Colton with nobody around him, and he fought and he got it, and there's your first goal. So and that it did really break the ice for the Avalanche, because here's your next one from Miles Wood, and this one being before the second period ended was huge, because what is going on with the are we having problems here with the I was just playing, there we go, let's see. There we go. So here's a nice scrum, not a scrum, but fight for the puck, and it's stolen by Coyle, and a nice just tic-tac pass right to Miles Wood for the goal. Nice to see him scoring again, but this was nice. And you see here's Wood right around the dots, and as soon as the puck goes down low, he just crashes towards the net. Coyle with a beautiful pass to get him right in a good scoring position, put it right on his tape for a nice snapshot. Look at it again. Coyle intercepts it. Perfect. Go to the Nathan MacKinnon goal, and this was a big one too. This was not a power play, but it seemed like it. This was maybe one of the best possessions that the Avalanche had the puck in the zone for a while, and the Blues were starting to get tired. And that's not a guaranteed goal, but those are clearly your best opportunities for them. And the Avs were just moving the puck at will. And here's the pass from Makar. Well, it goes back there. No, excuse me. It's from Nelson. And he just fires it on net. I think he saw, hey, there's traffic in front of the net. We got a couple guys down there. Let me shoot it on net. They can get a rebound or whatever the case may be. And it went off of a Blues player. I can't remember who it went off of, but I think that's what he was attempting to do. Something. There's a lot of traffic there. Maybe he's not expecting his shot to go in, but there's maybe going to be a rebound. And I have 3 guys really with Lehkonen right in the point, or not in the point, but right in the slot. So there's your third goal. And now the Avs you're feeling pretty good. But I shouldn't say you're feeling good because that goal came a little bit later in the third, but you had an opportunity. And you know what? Let me see this Robert Thomas one, because this one's just going to make me angry and probably everybody else. But because this is when the Avs, they pulled their goalie, I haven't watched this. So there's the shot and it's trickling and it hits the goalpost and goes in. I'm not going to rewind that one. I just wanted to watch it one time. And then here's the Malinsky one. He's got a ton of space on this one, and good for him not to just see all the space and fire it way back there. See where the Ticketmaster is? Good for him not to just fire it, because he's got so much space that he could move up into, and he does that. So that was a smart move by him. Look at all that space, and he just holds on, and then fires a shot on net. Unfortunately, that came with 9 seconds to go, so not much was going to happen after that, unfortunately. So that is the NHL. That's the NHL.com. So let's go over to Natural Stat Trick. And I think here's where you're going to see some interesting numbers here. So let's share that. Here is, so I'll just have to zoom in here. So here's your overview. And this is where you get your shots and everything. And I have it on all. I don't have it on 5-on-5 right now. You can see the Avalanche far outshot St. Louis. And that's, would they have 39 shots on net total? Let me go back over to NHL.com quickly and see. They had, where's the shots here? Why is it not? Oh, yeah, 39 to 22. They were out shooting them. You look at the Corsi and things like that. Your Corsi 4 for the Avs, 75 for the Blues, 46. So 62% of the time, the Avalanche are taking shots towards the net. And if you want to take out the block shots, that's where you can look at the Fenwick. That's 50 to 32. Now you can also look at that as that's 75 Corsi 4, 50 for Fenwick. Blues were blocking a lot of shots. Where, the opposite for the Avs, for the Blues, their Corsi was 46 to 32. So that's only 14 shots that the Avalanche were blocking. So Blues were doing a good job of getting into the shooting lanes and blocking Avalanche shots. But you still like to see this 75 to 46 and breaking it down by period 28 to 22. And that's where the Blues had your number in the first period. You were still out shooting them 19 to 10 in the second, 28 to 14 in the third. You go over to, that's their shots right there. So by period, 17 to 12 in the first, 8 to 4 in the second, and then 14 to 6 in the third. Here's your scoring chances, 12 to 7 in the first, 12 to 5 in the second, 15 to 7 in the third. You are out shooting them. You're out chancing them. You're high danger shots, 5 to 3 in the first, 5 to 2 in the second, 7 to 2 in the third. Usually this all will pan out and kind of maybe even itself out. But when you dig yourself a 4-0 hole, even when the numbers are favoring you, it's very difficult to come back from that. And you look at your expected goals, 4.43 for the Avs, and the Blues, who scored 5, including an empty netter, 2.67. So you can feel good about this on one hand, but if you're like the purist of like, well, the only numbers that matter are the one that are on the scoreboard, I can't fight that argument. I can't fight it because that's what tells the end story. Does all this stuff tell a story? Yes, absolutely. But it doesn't tell the story of who got the 2 points in the game, which obviously was the St. Louis Blues. but you can take this stuff and use it for the future and just say, hey, if we button up the things that got us down into the 4-0 hole and use these stats and the way we played, you do feel pretty good about it. Now, if you're the Blues, you feel good clearly because you got the 2 points. But you do have to have some concern here of like, hey, the way that the Avalanche are thinking of like, hey, we didn't rule them on the stat sheet. And again, I know it doesn't always, turn out into a victory. Clearly, this is the case here, and there's more that you're going to see. But for the Blues, it's like, good, we won the game, but we have some cleaning up to do as well. Because you can't rely just on, building a 4-0 lead all the time on the Colorado Avalanche or even in the postseason. So here's your, just in chart form, your Corsi. This is way down in the Avs' favor. They're plus 30 about. For 5-on-5, they're plus 18. That's all good stuff. Here's your heat map. This is the 5-on-5 heat map where, look at where the goals are for the Blues for 5-on-5, right in front of the net. For the Avs, you got one right in front of the net, and then right in the house there, you blow this up to all, and that, that heat map, that the darker blue that you want is, a lot bigger for the Avs. It's going to be between 5-on-5 and all situations. And here's your other goals for the Avs right outside the dots. And for the Blues, same thing, but still all within this little house right here. Nothing outside, right in front of the net, and just right down the slot, right into the house. That's where they do their damage. And for the Avs, you're kind of all over the place. Here's the McKinnon one down here. That's the Malinsky one. And here's your other two right in front of the net. I don't have a problem with this. Like you have a lot of this. Your area, your surface area is a lot more colored than the Blues. So it means you're moving the puck around, means you yourself are moving around. So you like to see a lot of that. As far as the power plays go for the Avalanche, this is where I have a big problem, because did they look bad? No. The power plays themselves did not look bad. But when you have 3 power plays in the first period alone and you don't come out with any, that's the problem. You got to figure out a way to bury a power play. And when it comes down to a 1-goal game, this is where a lot was left out on the ice, because you just turn one of these around and you don't have to pull the goalie and they don't get an empty netter. And I know things, change based on what, you can't go back and say, oh, because, if something happened before then the rest of the game changes. I understand all that stuff. I'm not trying to say that everything, the way it played out, is exactly how it's going to be played out. But come on now. You have 3 power plays in 1 period. And the Blues, for the course of the season, have a bad power play. If you want to be that, ever since the 4 Nations, fine. I don't care. You have 3 power play, and you also want to say, oh, the Avs don't have Nashis and they don't have Drouin. I get that too. But you still have Makar, you still have McKinnon, you still have Nichushkin. You have 3 power plays in 1 period. You got to come home with one of those. You have to. And they're not bad. Look at this first one. These kind of circle ones, I guess you want to call them, are those are shots. So 2 back to back right there. Here's another one, but you missed. That one, the square is a block. You get another shot here. So you're getting opportunities. Your second power play, you got a shot there. That was a shot, but a miss. Another shot, 2 more shots, another shot. Like, you can't complain with how the power play looks. You're getting opportunities. And even in the last one, you got 3 shots there. Okay, 3. So, man, I can't complain about what the power play was producing, save for scoring a goal. But I know it's easier said than done, but you gotta put one of those home, because you're talking about a different game here. Here is your just on the ice individual Corsis and shots and things like that. And this is where I want to get back to Logan O'Connor. He was great. 17 Corsi for, 5 against. If I can double click that there. There it is. 77% of the time, a shot was happening. Well, when Logan O'Connor was out on the ice, the Avalanche were getting shots, well, along with Parker Kelly. Like that duo was fantastic against the Blues. And even in your Corsi, it drops down a little bit, obviously, but 12-3 for him. Him being Logan O'Connor, 12-4 for Parker Kelly. So shots 4, 9 for 3 for both of them. There's your goals for, goals against. But there was something. Oh, high danger chances. 5 for 0 against. Again, for both of them. That's right here. And then who's this third one down here? Brock Nelson. 7 for high danger chances and 2 against for him. Again, this is kind of good stuff. Don't have any problems with it, but this is just what happens when you bury yourself into a 4-0 hole. And then here's your forward lines. Parker Kelly, Jack Drury, Logan O'Connor. 11-4, 3 against. 78.5% Corsi for percentage for 8-4, 2 against in Fenwick. So your scoring chances for 7-1, 7-2-1, 7-4, 1 against. That line was looking good. That line was really, really good. So you look at a lot of the natural stat trick stuff, people, and you don't hate it. If I didn't tell you the score, you probably would be happy with that. But, the game is not played out in the stat sheet. It's played out in reality. Let's go to HockeyViz. And there we go with the HockeyViz. Blow it up a little bit more so you can see it. Here's your shot pressure shot chart. And this one kind of shows you kind of who's in charge, who's kind of in command of the game, who's holding possession more. And as these numbers go more to your side, you have the better possession. First period, leaning towards Avs. St. Louis, obviously that's, not a bad period for them. A good back and forth in the first, but it probably leans towards the Avalanche. But they got 2 goals. There's your Bolduc and Neighbors goals. Excuse me. Move towards the second period. Not a lot doing, but Avs got some nice pressure right around here. But look at Blues really didn't do a heck of a lot, but they got 2 goals out of it. So, again, from the analytics side of things, you're happy. From the results side of things, you're not. You did get 2 goals in that period. There's your Colton and Wood goals. But, you just look at this. Forget about if you can eliminate the sides of where, these goals are coming in and just looking at who's got more of the color. It's leaning towards the Avalanche. Not this peak right here is your best one. These are okay right here. And for the Blues, not a heck of a lot. And then in the third, a lot of Avs. A lot. Blues had some stuff here. But look how this thing just goes inverted and they just couldn't do anything while the Avs, you're down. You got to press. So that's a good shot pressure chart for and look at it as a whole. Most of that's going towards the Avalanche. So there's that chart. There was a couple things on HockeyViz that we wanted to show here. Just look at this is their heat maps. Here's one for the Blues, which is very similar to the one on Natural Stat Trick. So you see right in front of the net, you get a little bit of green, but just look at the difference between, that's where you're getting a lot of pressure, right? So you get some dark or lighter shades of green there. So they're getting good pressure there. But look at the Avs. That's like neon green. There and look at everything else. Look where everything else is filled in. You're moving the puck around. You yourself are moving around. Good things are happening for the Avalanche, but it's one of those frustrating things. Usually, if you're down 4-0, everything's going to lean towards the team that's up 4-0. It's not the case here. And you look at this, this one chart that we always, let me blow it up a little bit. So this is your 5-on-5, your line down the middle. That's your red line down the middle. Like I always say, you want to be on the right side of that because you have your dull, your good, your fun, and bad. So the Avs are in blue for this one. You want to be over here, and most of your guys are over here for the most part. If you're dull, That doesn't necessarily mean you're bad, because you're bad, you're down here. Dull is just not exciting. And just because you're exciting doesn't mean you automatically win hockey games. So you want to be in the up here between the good, maybe fun, and dull. I'd be fine with dull. It's maybe not much fun to watch, but look who's down here. This is not where you want to be. You have McKinnon, Taves, and Makar. Those guys can't be there. They cannot be there. And we will show you another one of a chart that they can't be where they are in that chart either. If you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But overall, again, another good chart for the Avs. Here's all your black is the Blues guys. You don't got a ton over here. Most of their guys are over here. Is what it is. So that's that one. And here's the other one we're going to show for this is hockey stat cards. And this is like I was saying, where you don't want to be if you're certain Avalanche players. This is definitely one of them. There it is. So you look on the bottom here. Look who's on the bottom. Your bottom three guys: Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Devon Toews. Even go up one more to Brock Nelson. That's not where you want Brock Nelson either. Look who's at the top. Logan O'Connor. You find him at the top every once in a while. Eric Johnson. As much as we all love EJ, it's not really where you want Eric. Sure, you want him to be up there because he has a good game, but you want him to be joined by guys like Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Devon Toews. Now, why are Toews and Makar leaning so much to the left here? That's more of their defense. Well, for Toews, it was everything. Didn't really do much offensively. Makar pitched in offensively a little bit, but for most of the reason why they're so negative is their defense. Same with McKinnon. He did give you a goal. There's that's team offense. For individual offense, that's the dark red. It's like maroonish. So he's going towards the right a little bit there because he scored the goal. So that's good individually. But this is not what you want. Like, you have a good amount of guys going to the right-hand side, which is mainly your depth guys. Keith Middleton's your third best player, according to this chart. Colton's up there. He had the goal. Parker Kelly, obviously, we talked about him. Miles Wood, talked about him. Belinsky, he scored the goal. He had another good game. Linger. So overall, you had a good game. You want those guys right where they are on this chart. And, when, McKinnon and Makar and Toews have their normal game and they're up towards the top of this chart, this is a win. Because you look at St. Louis, just look at that. That doesn't really shout 5 goals to me. But hey, they got the 2. So good for them. One more thing to get to, like we always end with, and that is, of course, our money puck deserve to win-o-meter, which everybody just absolutely loves. And if it hasn't infuriated you yet, we'll refresh it. You see, all of these numbers really lean Avalanche. And, the deserve to win-o-meter, make fun of it if you want to. I kind of do too, but I get a kick out of it. There's your deserve to win-o-meter after 1,000 game simulations with all of these stats taken into account and average goaltending 65% of the time. The Avalanche are winning this game. There you go. So, can you be upset over this game and the way the Avalanche played in the beginning? Absolutely. Not trying to paint lipstick or put lipstick on a pig, or paint them on a pig if you want to. I don't care. Use whatever analogy you want. The Avs lost the game. But when you look into the numbers and how things go for both teams, if you're the Avalanche, you just say, we did some bad things in the beginning that caused us to get down 4-0. But if we can just eliminate that stuff, and the Avalanche are a team that can do that, they can eliminate those mistakes, and you do get a little bit better goaltending from Mackenzie Blackwood, you're okay. And we know the Avalanche are okay. We know they're a good team. Obviously, they have the playoffs locked up. So, but you can't keep doing this in the playoffs. If you have a one-off, fine. And it might happen in the playoffs. I don't really feel like the Avalanche are going to be this type of team game after game after game. Will it creep up every once in a while? Maybe. And will it cost you a game? Maybe. Which you can't do that too many times in the playoffs before you're sitting home. So There you go. There's your there's StatCast for the day. Like I said, tune in tomorrow. Kyle and I will talk about this game in mass, talk about more individual players and just how we're feeling about this game as a whole. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Like I said, join the subtext and get access to this video first, and a lot of other stuff we do over there too. So we're crowning a new mayor over at Subtextia. So join for that as well. All right, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. It's always fun to do these. So we'll see you guys tomorrow with Kyle.